What if the wrestling forbidden door was not just cracked open, but it was blown completely off the hinge? Imagine a world where AEW and WWE just didn't coexist together, but they collided. The factions that would rise to the top, the rivalries that could resurrect from old history, and the wrestling world would possibly never be the same. Today, in the first Wrestling What If, we're going to look over some booking decisions that would be chaotic, must see, and possibly even some wrestling crossovers that a lot of people would want to see. But of course, before we dive into these dream matches and possible invasions, make sure you hit that like button, join the Kraken Wrestling membership for exclusive fantasy booking, uncensored reviews, and deep dive more of wrestling history, rivalries that have been forgotten about, and gimmicks that just you could not forget. You don't want to miss what we have cooking up back here at the Kraken headquarters. First off, we're going to talk about one that we could easily see happen would be Kenny Omega builds a Bullet Club army. And what do we mean builds a Bullet Club army? We know the history of the Bullet Club and Kenny Omega from his time in New Japan. Don Callis family. He has good history with factions in general. So imagine we see a world where Kenny Omega walks through the WWE backstage curtain, but he's not alone there. Why would he not be alone? Well, we do have a Paul Heyman style empire now inside the WWE. You got Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, who said they are ready for absolute war. And who better than to give them what they want, to answer the call to "You Want War" than Kenny Omega and the Bullet Club? You got Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, and what would be a wrestling civil war in the professional wrestling world. This could collide at Survivor Series and a traditional 5v5, no war games, no cages, absolute chaos. Bullet Club versus the Heyman Empire. It would be absolutely fantastic building, booking, getting us to that point. But here's the thing, who would be the full 5-on-5 booking card for this? Well, to find out, make sure you come join the Kraken Wrestling, where our members decide who the other two would be to join the Heyman Empire to make the evens against the Bullet Club. The second matchup that I would like to see would be Will Ospreay versus AJ Styles trilogy. Why do I say trilogy? Well, Will Ospreay and AJ Styles has a huge background. For some of us, we know this. The Rev Pro High Stakes 2015, AJ Styles beat a young Will Ospreay. And in the Rev Pro New Japan Uprising, AJ Styles won there again. So Ospreay is technically 0-2 when it comes to AJ Styles. This rivalry I would like to actually see happen on the simple fact that they have that history. They have the great in-ring chemistry. We've all seen the matches. They actually do some of the same moves. They have inherited those together. But this would not be about Ospreay's debut here in WWE. This would not be the Cody Rhodes comeback at WrestleMania. This would be Will Ospreay wanting revenge and showing that he is the true wrestler when it comes against AJ Styles. At SummerSlam, I would put these two toe-to-toe in a modern classic callback to their New Japan Pro Wrestling days. Hidden Blades, Styles Clash, Oz Cutters off the top rope. It would be absolutely insane. The build-up between these two and the match. I would absolutely have Ospreay go over. This match cleanly against AJ Styles, as AJ Styles would be giving him the nod that, hey, you are the better one here. And then just like that, the Commonwealth Kingpin would now be in the WWE, making his main event megastar as he would head into WrestleMania looking for what would be a title opportunity for himself as he broke through into the WWE. Now, of course, the final one that I would honestly like to see, and this is a callback to some Lucha Underground, Swerve Strickland versus Karrion Kross. And this would be an absolute chaos match because we know the new Swerve is completely different from what we had in the past. And I would have him most definitely show up on a Monday Night Raw where Karrion's out there and he's, in a sense, having one of his pipe bombs that we've seen happen. And it just goes completely dark. Lights go out, and Raw ends in a silence until whispers echo and you hear Boo's house. And there comes a Swerve with a dang swerve stomp, a house call, whatever you want to have it be, and he attacks Karrion Kross. Now, like I said, this goes back to where Swerve was kill shot, and we had Killer Kross back in Lucha Underground. Great matches for these two. Absolutely fantastic. It would be dark, it would be violent, and it would be a cinematic masterpiece for both of these. And I would honestly have Swerve winning these matches at SummerSlam. But to end SummerSlam, you could also have Bronson Reed attack Swerve Strickland, hit him with a tsunami to end the match. And now why? Why would we have that happen? Well, in 2021, Swerve Strickland beat Big Bronson Reed for the North American title, and now Bronson would want his revenge on a fresh, new Swerve Strickland that was not there before. Now, you've got these three feuds that you could build on the main roster for a while with Kross, Bronson Reed, and Swerve, and have them elevate to a WrestleMania moment. And I cannot wait to see how that would unfold. Now, to deep dive into this a little more and give us more of a understanding, that will be on the Kraken Wrestling membership as well. So if you want to deep dive that, have us actually sit down and look how we would actually step by step and even possibly do a rundown of how the matches would go, was hit that join button because you do not want to miss the next episode of the Kraken Wrestling What If. So if AEW joined WWE, we would most definitely get to see a bullet-filled invasion, revenge arc straight from wrestling history, and storytelling renaissance that would shake pro wrestling at its core if they could coexist. What I want y'all to do today is comment below your AEW WWE dream match, and if you want to shape the next episode of the Kraken Wrestling What If series, become a Kraken member today. You'll get early access, booking polls, and full match card weeks before the public. And of course, as always, until next time, keep your kayfabe close and your factions closer. This is the Kraken Wrestling. We are over and out.